The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Krellax's confession echoed through the crystalline halls. His three eyes dimmed with shame as he spoke the words that would reshape the political landscape of known space. "We took one of them," he whispered. "Just one human. For research purposes." High Arbiter Zinthar felt her heart skip in unison. In her 4 centuries of service, she had never witnessed such foolishness. The Treaty of Silent Stars was clear, carved not in stone but in the bitter lessons of the Terran conflict, a war that had ended 3 decades ago, yet still haunted every species that had participated. "Which faction authorized this?" she demanded, her mandibles clicking with barely contained rage. "The Krolathi Science Directorate. They believed sufficient time had passed, that humanity had softened." A bitter laugh escaped from Counselor Vex, the only survivor from the original War Council. His scarred carapace bore the marks of human plasma weapons. "Softened? You don't understand them at all, do you? You weren't there. You didn't see what they became when we touched their colonies." The young Krolathi delegate straightened his spine ridge defensively. "That was war. This is peacetime. We took one human from a frontier station, a nobody, a maintenance worker named Chen. We simply wanted to study their biological resilience, their genetic adaptability." "You wanted to weaponize it," Vex interrupted. "Just as we all did 30 years ago. And do you know what we learned? That humans don't have a hive mind like the Zentari. They don't share a racial consciousness like my people. They're individuals scattered across thousands of worlds. But touch one of them, truly harm one of them, and they become something else entirely. They become unified." The holographic display at the chamber's center flickered to life, showing real-time data streams from the frontier sectors. Red markers began appearing, dozens at first, then hundreds. "What are we looking at?" Krellax asked, his voice trembling. "Krolathi fleet signatures," Zinthar said, manipulating the display. "Or rather, where they used to be. 12 battle groups gone, no distress signals. No wreckage, just empty space." The delegate's skin turned a sickly gray. "That's impossible. Our fleets were dispersed across 15 sectors." "How could—" "Because you don't understand the first rule about humanity," Vex said, moving closer to the display. "They don't fight like us. When we go to war, we mobilize. We strategize. We move fleets and supplies along predictable routes. Humans, they're always ready. Every cargo ship has weapons. Every colony has a militia. Every civilian knows how to kill." Zinthar pulled up historical records, projecting images that made even the battle-hardened counselors flinch. Footage from the Terran conflict showed human vessels, freighters, mining ships, even luxury liners, retrofitted into instruments of devastation. They fought with a creativity born of desperation and a cruelty born of love for their own. "When we attacked their colonies," Vex continued, his voice distant with memory, "we thought we were fighting a government, a military. We weren't, we were fighting families. Every human who lost someone became a weapon. They didn't wait for orders. They didn't need permission. They just acted." The display showed new data. Human vessels were converging from every corner of mapped space, moving with frightening coordination despite having no central command structure. They were coming from mining operations in the asteroid belts, from research stations orbiting dead stars, from colony worlds that had been settled for less than a year. "This is Chen's doing?" Krellax asked weakly. "No," Zinthar said, accessing the intelligence reports. "Chen is dead. Your scientists killed him during their experiments. But before he died, he managed to send one message through your compromised networks. 5 words. They broke the treaty, Krolathi." The weight of those words settled over the chamber like a shroud. "That's all?" the delegate whispered. 5 words caused this? "You still don't understand," Vex said, his voice heavy with pity. "Humans have a saying, blood for blood. But it's not just revenge. It's a promise, a covenant between them. When Chen died, every human in the galaxy received that message. Not through official channels, through their networks, their families, their friends. They have this concept called 6 degrees of separation. The idea that any human can be connected to any other human through just 6 social connections." He gestured to the display, where the red markers indicating destroyed Krolathi fleets continued to multiply. Chen wasn't a nobody. None of them are nobodies. He was someone's son, someone's friend, someone's colleague. And now every human who knew him and everyone who knew those people and everyone connected to them, they're all moving. Not because their government ordered it, not because their military demanded it, because one of their own was taken and killed. The Krolathi delegate collapsed into his seat. How do we stop this? We'll return his body. We'll pay reparations. We'll submit to any tribunal. You can't stop it, Zinthar said quietly. The Treaty of Silent Stars wasn't written to protect us from human government. It was written to protect us from human nature. You didn't just break an agreement. You reminded them why they created the treaty in the first place. The display showed Earth now, the human homeworld. Its orbital defenses were activating, not in preparation for defense but for launch. Thousands of vessels, from dreadnoughts to shuttles, were leaving the gravity well. There's only one chance, Vex said. Full surrender immediately, unconditional, broadcasted on every frequency. Lay down all arms. Open every military installation. Hope that enough of them hear it and care enough to call off the others. And if they don't? Krelax asked, though he already knew the answer. Then the Krolathi joined the Vraxnil Confederacy in the history texts, Vex replied. Another civilization that learned too late. You can conquer humans. You can defeat them in battle. You can even occupy their worlds. But you can never, ever make them accept the death of one of their own. Because humans don't just fight for territory or resources or ideology. They fight for each other, and they never, ever forget. The last Krolathi fleet signature vanished from the display. The delegate reached for the communications console with shaking appendages, preparing to broadcast the surrender that might, if humanity chose to accept it, save his species from extinction. As he spoke the words that would end Krolathi military sovereignty, Zinthar looked at the image of Earth, still pouring vessels into the void, and wondered, how does a species become so individually fragile yet collectively unstoppable? Perhaps that was the true secret of humanity. They were strong not in spite of their attachments to one another, but because of them. And in the cold mathematics of galactic warfare, that made them the most dangerous species the universe had ever known. The treaty hadn't been broken by accident. It had been broken by arrogance. And now, as human fleets burned across the stars like an avenging tide, every species in the galaxy was reminded of the simple rule that governed all interactions with humanity. Leave them alone, and they'll explore, trade, and laugh with you. But touch one of them, harm one of them, take one of them, then God help you. Because nothing else will.